Hey everyone, and welcome to a new video. Now when it comes to photo processing, I'm pretty lucky and pretty handy that I can turn this into this, this into this, and this into this. But two things keep coming up, one for me and one for my viewers. For me personally, I'm frustrated with what my existing software can do, or really can't do, in creating masks, which for me is critical in my processing style. And as for my viewers, if I had a dime for every complaint I've heard about paying subscriptions, you know how it goes. I think I've found a solution to both your problem and mine. In this video, I'm going to show you a perpetual license alternative to raw processing programs like Lightroom or Capture One, show you the masking tricks in it that I use, and if you stay to the end, I'll even give you a link to try it for free for 30 days or get a big discount if you decide to buy it. I'm talking about DxO PhotoLab 9, who's sponsoring this video. My name is Simon D'Entremont and I'm a professional nature and wildlife photographer living in Eastern Canada. I make weekly videos giving you photo tips or taking you behind the scenes for nature photography. Subscribe if you want to see more. Now many of you have heard me talk about DxO Pure Raw, which is my favorite noise reduction program that I now use all the time for my wildlife photos. But what about processing photos like in Lightroom? That's where PhotoLab 9 comes in. At its core, PhotoLab 9 is a complete raw photo editing and processing application. If you're familiar with programs like Lightroom or Capture One, it fills a very similar role in a photographer's workflow. You can organize your images into collections, adjust exposure and color, do cropping, apply local adjustments using brushes and masks, reduce noise, etc. Now many photographers know DxO because of Pure Raw, but PhotoLab incorporates the same deep prime noise recognition and optical correction technologies inside of it. Something else that will appeal to many photographers is that PhotoLab 9 is available as a perpetual license model. That means you buy it once rather than paying every month. If you later buy a new camera that wasn't supported when your version came out, you may need to upgrade to a newer version of the software. Upgrade pricing is typically discounted compared to a new license, but there's no obligation to upgrade if your current setup is working for you. And this is clearly way cheaper than a subscription model. Here's a quick look at the math. The one-time purchase plus a few upgrades is clearly cheaper than a subscription. Now let me show you how it actually works, and more importantly, some of the masking and local adjustment tools that really caught my attention. Let's have a look here. Here's a quick look at the interface. Similar to other tools you may have used, here on the left-hand side, we have a preview window and a handy histogram where you can select a clipping indicator, either blown whites or crushed blacks. Also, the photo EXIF data with the settings and the light can be displayed here as well. On the right-hand side here, light, which is exposure, lights, darks, and tone curves, also contrast and micro contrast, what in Lightroom would be close to the clarity slider. Then over here we have colors, so color profiles, white balance, and an HSL panel. In detail, sharpening and noise reduction. Geometry is cropping, then watermarking and effects, and finally, local adjustments. Now for me, local adjustments is the most important panel. Now why is that? Because these days I rarely do much processing globally, that is to the whole image at once. My preferred approach is to use brushes and various masking tools to pick out specific parts of the image and process them separately, like the subject versus the background. To my eye, they rarely need the same processing approach. Now when you start, PhotoLab will download the specific camera and lens profile that you used, so we can apply sharpening and lens correction maximize for your setup. Now let's look at the local adjustment tools. First, here's a brush. We know what that does. Where we brush gets affected where you make adjustments. Here's the auto brush, the one with edge detection, best used on something with sharp edges and similar colors and tones. Hitting Alt on a Windows PC or Option on a Mac will make it a subtract brush. Handy tip. Then a hue mask here, based on colors, graduated filters like linear gradients, and now we get to the really powerful ones. Control points, control lines, and AI detected masks, like subject, flowers, background, hair, faces, sky, etc. To start off with AI masks, click here for Add a Selection. And one of the best features is just the ability to move the cursor around and it picks things it can make masks for. Or use Add an Area to use the box selection tool to pick one or several items. This one's a little bit more accurate. And the whole goal here is to select things so that you can process them differently. Let me do a quick processing on my owl here, as the owl, background, and post all need a different touch. Let's look at this photo of mine here, taken in tough conditions for image quality. Note that while I'm using wildlife and nature pics here, of course this will work for any genre. It was snowing, so I ended up with a soft white haze over my whole photo, blurring my subject, but while I usually love snow in my photo, the whole image is washed out, so I can't even see the snow very well. This is too short of a video to show you exactly how everything works, but I want to show you what's possible. I'll start by here cropping to taste, and then I'll select a subject mask. My owl looks a little too warm from a white balance perspective, so I'll cool that off. And I need some sharpness and contrast to make it pop, and I'll add some highlights and lower shadows. And I'll also use the contrast and micro contrast sliders for a little bit more pop. And I can add some sharpening. Then I'll bring out the eye with a mask that I'll just brush on and add some exposure. Not too much, just a bit. Then the post looks kind of bland. It's green from treatment to avoid rotting, not rustic enough. I'll make a mask using the Make a Selection tool by just clicking on it. How easy is that? Then I'll add some contrast and micro contrast. That last one is similar to the clarity or texture slider in Lightroom. And you want to know my trick to make rustic looking fence posts look good? Crank up the micro contrast and lower the saturation. Now it's time for the background. Selecting it is as easy as clicking on it. And what does it need? Well, snowy scenes look good blue and cold from a white balance perspective. So left on the white balance. Then to cut through the haze of that snow, raise the highlights and lower the shadows for some more contrast. Then more of that micro contrast slider. Check out how that snow now pops. For the final touches here, it's time for some sharpening and noise reduction using the same technology found in Pure Raw. I'm going to hit the Details panel, then Deep Prime XD3, that both denoise the photo right from its raw state and applies sharpening using your own lens and camera profiles. Hit the Magnify tool here for a closer look. Now you can adjust the luminance slider to control how much noise reduction you need. Most people apply too much noise reduction and make the background perfectly smooth, but when you're zoomed up this much, you see the noise much more. Just leave a little bit of noise in the background, and then when you back up to see the whole image, you won't see it anymore. And the intensity slider to control sharpness now. Get these in a nice balance that gives you a clean background and a sharp subject. Check out the detail here, but still super clean. A quick exposure adjustment here, and here's the before and after, which the slider in PhotoLab is great for. This is more than I'd usually do in processing, but I wanted to show you what's possible. Now that one was easy, let's try a harder situation for AI masks. The dreaded tree against the sky problem. This seems to give all programs a hard time. Now if I use Lightroom mask for the sky or the land in this Milky Way shot where there was an airport and major city in the background, I get a really bad overspill in my masks. This isn't great as I have to process them differently. The sky darker and the land lighter. Now here's the new landscape mask feature in Lightroom, and if I click on vegetation, see how much overlap there still is between the land and the sky. If I use a sky mask, a lot of the tree is included as the tree is now red. Now, by the way, you can open PhotoLab from Lightroom as a plugin if you want to use both systems, or keep the catalog system of just Lightroom. Just remember to get the benefits of the raw decoding and best denoising. Don't use Photo Edit In, but rather File, Plugin Extras, Transfer to PhotoLab. Now we're going to make a mask using a super powerful tool, Control Lines and Control Points. These provide luminance and color-aware masking that offers much of the power of Photoshop, for example, like luminance masks, but in a much faster and more intuitive workflow. Now, if you've ever used luminance masks in Photoshop, PhotoLab's control lines and control points give you a similar level of precision. They can target areas based on brightness and color, allowing you to isolate skies, backgrounds, highlights, shadows, and other elements with quite a bit of accuracy. So select Control Point here, and I can move the control point around and select the colors and tones that I want to masks, as well as adjacent similar colors and tones. So white is masked, black not. Look at the precision I can get as I move this around. And best yet, you can adjust the sensitivity to color and brightness after you've made a selection. And you can remove it around again after. So here I use a control line, which is like gradients, and I use a color picker to pick the spot that I want my mask to be based off of. So I adjust the mask using the luminosity and chroma sliders to be just what I want. I can even subtract other masks from it. And if we look here at the final mask, See how much of a better job it's done of the tree mask with actual holes between the branches and the leaves. And after a bit of processing in PhotoLab 9, voila, here is the before and after. And finally, the bane of all banes for both portrait photographers and wildlife, hair and fur. Getting automatic masks right on the edges of hair and fur seems to be impossible for most processing programs to get right. Let's look at this grizzly I photographed last summer in Western Canada. In my usual program, a subject mask or background mask doesn't do a good job at all of getting the edges right. The tips of the ears aren't included in the mask, for example. And if I try a background mask, I get the opposite problem. The mask bleeds into the bear and includes some of the bear. If my plan was to darken the background to make this beautiful light ear tip show out more, this would defeat that purpose. Now let's try it in PhotoLab. We can start with a subject mask, and you'll see that it does a pretty good job. One of the best features is the ability to feather or diffuse the edges of your AI masks. That's a pretty good trick, not found in many programs. But I think I can do better. Now we're going to use the most powerful masking feature, the control points. As a reminder, these use color and brightness to make a mask, and both of these parameters are adjustable. So here I'll place the control point on my bear and adjust the chroma and luminance sliders to get the bear selected. White is selected and black not, as a reminder. But the best part is I can add as many of these points as I want, selecting parts of the bear I want masked. For example, these ear tips or the dark nose. And if you want to make sure something isn't included, you just use the Protect tool, which is basically a negative control point. Look at how sophisticated this mask is now. And I forgot the top right ear, just click and add it. Now I can raise the shadows on my dark bear and add some micro contrast without affecting the rest of the photo. And let's say I want to adjust the background without the bear included. I can just use a control line to make another mask on the background. Adjust it until it's what you want. And here's a before and after and all the masks I used to create that new look. Just delicate adjustments done in a subtle way, which these sophisticated masks are perfect for. Nothing over the top, just very accurate. If you're looking for a photo processing program that doesn't require a subscription and has a perpetual license, or like me, you're looking for more powerful masking tools in your processing, PhotoLab is worth a try. I usually offer a discount of 15% using code SIMON for new DxO customers, but for June 15th to July 10th, 2026, DxO has graciously offered me a special 20% off code, Simon Summer 2026, for new customers. I'll leave a link in the description below. If you think this video is deserving, give it a like and YouTube will show it to even more photographers looking to take their processing to a new level. And if you're interested in my take on noise reduction techniques and software, check out my video on that, which you can see right here. I hope you can go out soon and come back with your own unique and amazing photos. I know you can do it.